The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is brought to you by the Roslyn Social, North Shore's premier rooftop lounge, located in the heart of Roslyn Village at 1363 Old Northern Boulevard. Give them a call, 516-801-4963, and say hi to Nick. Fantastic food, great atmosphere, just a great time all around. The Knockem.
We are having so much fun, and we know you're going to love our next guest. His name is Tony Walker, and he is a comedy guy. Comedy cures everything. So.
Absolutely. I had cancer at the age of 32, and I do believe that the laughter and the positive attitude got me through it just as much as the medications did, which led to the comedy troupe that I run called Knockem Dead Comedy. We do dinner theater, murder mysteries, game shows, kid shows. We're not stand-up or anything like that, just comedy shows, variety shows.
You go to restaurants and where else? Like theaters?
Restaurants, private parties, corporate events, fundraisers. Did I say fundraisers?
Fundraisers, firehouse.
Comedy shows, they're murder mysteries, they're audience participation. It's a scripted show because there's clues and hints that have to go out, but it's not a don't blink or you'll miss something. It's not Agatha Christie.
Right.
It's a comedy. It's lighthearted, but one of the characters does get killed,
right,
and then the audience has to figure out who did it and why. And if it's a private party or a corporate event, we personalize it to fit their event.
Now, do you ask the audience for help with the mysteries? Or
Yeah, they solve it.
All by themselves.
Based on what they saw during the show, we even give them a little section where they can interrogate the suspects.
Oh, that's
and,
fun.
So we'll deflect, deny, point fingers at other characters, but everybody makes the rounds throughout the whole room and talks to people.
The show is guaranteed. It's 100% guaranteed fun.
Totally.
Everywhere we go, everybody loves that show.
The audience just get so involved, and there's just such a part of the show, and that makes it even better.
Other things that you do aside from mystery.
we do game shows. The game show, we have a podium with lights and buzzers and sounds, and it's basically
Like
a trivia game show, or it could be, again, we ad-lib with that too. So they may want a trivia game show, but if we show up and they're a loud, boisterous group and they're a lot of fun, we could ask them to do funny physical challenges or do some karaoke or whatever, or name that tune, whatever we feel like doing, and they'll be willing to do. We'll take it there.
What movie introduced the phrase, "There's no crying in baseball"?
Oh, wait.
What letter comes after A? Go ahead. B is correct!
Is there a favorite skit that you do that just still cracks you up every time you do it?
We do a lot of audience participation murder mystery shows, comedic murder mystery shows. And there's two shows. We have a mob show. We're in New York. You have to have the mob shows. And we have a redneck wedding, which is just
I have to come see that one.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Anytime. In fact, I even brought you a shirt.
Growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, I have to say, you did?
Of course I did.
Hey!
That you will wear everywhere you go. In fact, I have a whole bunch. I'm giving one out to everybody.
Everywhere I go. Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Oh, that's great.
Can I
Knockem Dead
pretend I'm
Comedy.
drinking something here?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pretend like you're drinking something.
I'm having fun on the set.
We actually do put water in it when guests ask.
Just
we
not
do. But
this
if you
guest,
if you don't ask ahead of time, wait. This one's full of water. You ready?
Nice.
1, 2, 3. All right. There you go.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
is Govs Radio.
Govs Radio.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do that for now.
Hi, it's Monday. It's February
21st.
21st. It's President's Day. We got the day off. Wearing my happy yellow shirt. It's a great day. Everybody's off. Oh, everybody's off today, including the kiddies. So, all right, let's make a pact.
Okay.
No cursing on today's show because the kids are home.
Okay.
All right.
Deal.
Clean show, everybody. Clean show. Because we know all the kids are sitting around watching. They're not watching their TikToks and all their cool stuff and playing video games. They're watching us. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Day Comedy Podcast, coming at you live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. That is the place to be. We have all sorts of cool shows. We're on the YouTube channel. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast is the YouTube channel. We do have a Facebook channel of the same name, but comment on the YouTube feed because that's where we are interacting with you guys. Please hit the hearts. Well, no, hit the thumbs up thing. And comment and say good morning to us like Bosie and Beansy have.
Oh, is Bosie off today?
I don't know. And I'm trying to see what my glasses say. Yeah, Bosie and Beansy said hi. Hi, guys. So join them in saying hi. And join us on the YouTube feed. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. And we're coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. That is where all sorts of great shows are happening this weekend. Just like we got those guys from General Hospital. They're going to be here Wednesday night. And since they're here on Wednesday, they also got the Giggle Room open Wednesday night. Tom Galati.
Is Luke and Laura going to be there?
Luke and Laura, no.
Now that's Days of Our Lives.
No, that was General Hospital.
Was it General Hospital?
Yes. But they're the cool ones.
Yeah.
Now they just have these guys who won't come into the studio unless they get paid. And those are the guys that'll be in the club Wednesday night.
Luke and Laura would have come in.
I bet they would have.
Yeah.
But you know what? Go to the Giggle Room Wednesday night. You can see our pal Tom Galati is performing, our pal Tommy Farrell, and a bunch of other great comedians Wednesday night. Here at Governor's in Levittown, the Compound Media guys will be here Saturday night. We're going to be here for Live from the Green Room in hopes that those guys come in here. Joe Curry, Anthony Cumia, Don Jameson, just to name a few. There's going to be a bunch of guys. Looking forward to that. John Butera and his Aragona Comedy. They're performing Saturday night in the Giggle Room. The Brokerage in Belmore, where I hope you all went to see Joey Cola this weekend. This coming weekend, Nico White is playing down there. And McGuire's out east in Bohemia. Nico White is also playing there.
And John Butera will also be out there as well. So these guys are like magic. They're all over the place. Lots of great stuff happening at all 3 great Governors Comedy Clubs. Go to govs.com, check out their full schedule, and that's where you can make your reservations. And you know what? And please like and share our show. Hit the thumbs up and copy and post the link to all your social media platforms. Tell them about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcasts, including this one, since we're on right now.
I don't have the camera on, so that's why I'm not plopping.
What?
The far-reaching camera isn't turned on, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was just waiting for this.
And you can also, if you'd like to do your own podcast, maybe it's a one-time thing, or maybe you'd like to record it and post it yourself, or you'd like to live stream like we do, and live stream from Govs would be a part of our roster, whether you need to record something, or it's just a privately recorded thing that you need for your corporation or for your house. Whatever it is. Even audio, we can do that too. We have we have the technology here. Cameras and lights and microphones and phones and Zoom and graphics and people and all sorts of fun. So get in touch with us on our Facebook page, Gov's Comedy Club Radio, Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. I can't believe I did that. And get in touch with us, and we'll hook you up with this great studio and reasonable rates. That's right. What else? Okay. So also in the Giggle Room at Governor's in Levittown on April 1st. Don't forget, April 1st. Come on down. Check out a hilarious mob-themed murder mystery like you've never seen before. Knockem Dead Comedy. What do you got? Oh, it's like cut off a little bit.
Where?
Like the top and the side there, no? I know, but now you can't just, yeah.
Okay, I just want to see what you meant.
All right, and I didn't say anything. There you go. In the little room, April 1st, Knockem Dead Comedy. Knockem Dead Comedy, been around 10 years. Me personally, been doing murder mysteries for like 25 years. With my own company for 20. It's going to be a blast. You're going to have a great time. I promise you that. Great food, like Governor's always has. Going to be a great time. April 1st, Knockem Dead Comedy here at the Giggle Room. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com if you'd like to see pictures of us and more information on who we are, what we do, and more information if you are having a corporate event or a fundraiser or a private party, or you have a venue that you just want to host an event. Knockem Dead Comedy. Get in touch with us through our website. All our contact info is there. Cool. Think that's it. Oh, before we get down to business, there was one thing I just wanted to cover. It's Don Sill Week here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. First, I need to apologize to Don. We didn't get his top fives up this past Friday. So our apologies to you. Our apologies to Don. It was just, I had all sorts of issues. I just didn't get it done. So my apologies. But this week, we're going to make up for it. Wednesday night at 7:30, Donversations returns. It's been gone for a few weeks. Comes back this week, where Don is talking to the very funny Helene Witt. I believe she was in here with us once.
Yeah, nice
she's
lady.
She's the one that met the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. So that'll be good. Friday night, top fives. It's already on YouTube, set to premiere, so it'll definitely be on this week. Don discussing top 5 hippie comedians with none other than his pal, Benny Rizzuti, Long Island's favorite hippie.
That'll be great.
That's going to be great. Don and Benny is always great. Those two have such a chemistry and a deep friendship, so that's going to be fun. And then Saturday, speaking of shows that are returning, live from Governor's Green Room, back, I don't know, it's probably a month or two since we last did it. So we'll be here Saturday night, live from Governor's Green Room. Hope to get the Compound Media guys in here, and we'll grab whoever's in the little room, the Giggle Room, excuse me. So all sorts of Don Sill coming at you this week. Can never get enough Don Sill. I personally don't think it's enough, and I think there should be more. I think that we should call this place Gov's Comedy Club Don Sill. Don Sills comedy.
He has nothing annoying about him. There's no annoying quality
None.
in him. Yeah, more is always better. And you know me. I don't say that often. I just really.
Yeah, you hate everybody.
I hate everyone, and he's just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very lucky to have him in your life.
And so could you for 1995. So there you go. Lots of cool stuff happening this week. And there's no, speaking of great shows, we got Steve Square tonight. There's no work tonight.
No, he's on vacation because it's kids are off from school this week, so he's got little ones, so he's taking the week off.
March 7th will be the next worked.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no Joey Petroni this week, right? That was
no,
last
he's
week?
every other week. So,
but Hershey and the Keegs back tomorrow.
Yes.
For their second episode?
Their second episode.
Their second episode. Hershey and the Keegs. That's tomorrow night.
You said you didn't like that name, but you can't not say it 5 times. So you must inwardly like it. There must be something about it that you love because you say it. Sometimes I just hear you walking around the house saying it.
Well, that's just because...
In the shower, that was a little weird.
Well, that's because, they're both of them, my sexual fantasy.
Yeah. Well, I can see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. How was the weekend? How was the weekend? How was it?
Yeah, I mean, we had that show, which was great.
We Knockem did comedy. We working our way back from the pandemic. Starting to get a little busy, a little bit. Not as busy as we want to be, so get in touch with us. We did a show. We returned to Jersey for the first time since the pandemic.
Great show.
We get a fair amount of work in Jersey. I don't know why, but we do. And we've been fortunate. We haven't, we've never had a bad car accident, or we've never been really totally had big time trouble with the roads.
Yeah, and driving to Jersey is a pain in the butt.
Oh,
you know, it
really
just
is.
There's no way around it. You're going to be spending 2 to 3 hours easy, no matter what's going on, and there and back. So it's a pain, but we've been lucky.
And it wasn't really that bad. We were playing in what was it? Bornegat. 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 We were performing in that town, and without traffic, it's 2 hours. And we hit traffic, of course, and it took us 3 hours.
Yeah, and you hate to be late. And by late, Tony means a half an hour early is really late for him for a show. And I absolutely understand because I set up all the equipment, so I totally get it.
Right. I like to be at least a half hour before they open the doors because it gives us time to set up and be ready. It's not, to me, it's very unprofessional to set up your equipment when there's a bunch of people, all the guests are sitting there.
Yeah, we like to set it up, get it all nice, and then leave.
So, right. So showtime was 7. We hit traffic, so we didn't get there till 6:30, and that's when the doors were opening. So we were actually walking in with all the guests, and sure enough,
they were holding doors for us.
Yeah, and then had to set up in front of them, which sucked. But what I found interesting was because I followed Waze. I did exactly what Waze told me. I don't always do that, but for some reason this time I was like, all right, I'm just doing what Waze is telling me to do.
Argue with Waze a lot.
And it just took us through these side streets of Brooklyn,
it'll take you off the road if the highway is going to be a mess.
But this didn't seem to be much better. We're going through all these side streets of Brooklyn. We're hitting lights every 2 feet. It's backed up. People are double parked. I mean, it was just a mess.
Brooklyn sucks to drive through.
It only took 3 hours, which usually just being set back an hour, only an hour is usually you're usually just happy that it was just an hour.
Yeah.
But we were just stopping and moving, and so it just felt like longer, and it just took wind out of our sails. So and then of course, like you said, then realizing it's going to be 6:30 by the time we get there, which is when everybody else sets up. So it was definitely, we started out having fun on the ride. Then it got kind of quiet, and everybody was kind of grouchy. But then we got there, we started the show, and we were ready to start. Like you said, you set up the sound. The cast was in the back getting dressed. We were ready to go at 7 like they wanted.
Yeah.
And they had us start 7:05, 7:10, but nothing, I mean, who cares about 5-10 minutes? But it wasn't because of us anyway. We were ready. But we came out, man, these people laughed at everything.
Yeah, they loved it. Well, it was a good show. You guys were you were spot on, great. Everything was really funny.
It was,
but the energy
was up,
of them, they were really looking forward to this, so that made it a lot of fun.
we do get that, where you just come out and say hi and they laugh. And you just know it's going to be a good night when you feel that kind of energy. And we did. We totally killed it. Our last show, we did a show 2 weeks ago that went really well, too.
Yeah.
And that was the first show. We did like 3 or 4 shows in the fall, and those were our first shows back since the pandemic. So they went well, but I still felt like we were kind of like, there was still that uncertainty, like people weren't sure if they can get up. People weren't sure if they can get close to each other. We weren't sure where to go. Like, it was just trying to get our feet back. Where a few weeks ago, it was like, oh, this felt good. And then this weekend was like, wow, we nailed it. We crushed it. So it was just a blast.
People knew their lines. Like, it went really, really well. Because we
always
had,
a plus.
well, yeah, but we, like sometimes you have like cast members doing different roles. So it's like a little new to them. So they have to like, you could tell that it's not completely all memorized. And everyone was just spot on and perfect. It was really enjoyable.
Liz says, good morning.
Hey, Liz.
It's Barnegat. It's not Bornegat?
Barnegat? That
Yeah.
makes more sense. I think I've heard of it now.
I'm never late. Says Fremder, things just get started before I get there. So we totally crushed it. They loved it. And then we had no problems getting home. We were home by 11:30.
No, it was fine. Yeah, we cruised.
I mean, we do a show, in 2 towns over, and we get home later.
And
So
you're like
it went well.
because Tony drives usually. Like Eric will take half the crew, Tony will take half the crew, and Tony's got all the equipment, so we have to usually get there earlier to set up. But you're like a thoughtful driver. Like you drive in the car with Tony, you don't even realize why you're happy because he does like all these things, like
farting.
Yeah, no. Like 2 of the other cast members were in the car with us, and all of a sudden, just coincidentally, Tony just happens to have a Boston CD that he knows that, she loves Boston. So she's just like back there singing along. And all of a sudden, like the other cast member after that album, like Tony had Kiss? Was it Kiss?
Linda Bartolomeo likes her Boston. Greg Halverson Greg Halverson has seen Kiss 137 times, I think he said.
I look back there, like through the entire album, he's just like,
Oh, yeah, I can hear him singing behind me.
he was like trying not to, but he couldn't help it.
He was even like singing the musical parts. I'm driving, I'm just like chuckling to myself.
Then we're
after-
almost there, and you had like Talking Heads on for me,
You're a big
and
Talking
the
Heads fan.
Stop Making Sense album, which was my favorite. So and they both loved that album too. So it was like fun, So thanks because you're thoughtful, like you don't say anything like, guess what I'm doing for all you guys. Like all of a sudden music is playing and you're happy and you don't know why.
It wasn't the Stop Making Sense album.
It wasn't. What was it?
It was just a mix of like their greatest hits that I put together.
Most of them were from Stop
Most of them
Making
are from
Sense.
that album.
Yeah.
I'm not up on my Talking Heads. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Liz Batapete's daughter Melissa went to Vic DiBattista on Friday. John Ziegler opened for him. She said he was really good. Very happy to hear that. I did not know that Ziegler was opening up for him.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to hear he's doing better.
Yeah, he's been performing lately, so I maybe he's.
People have been really. I mean, you keep hearing about like sad cancer cases, but they're like on top of cancer. These doctors, like it's amazing how they could bring someone back from feeling so awful.
Fremder says he likes to listen to Boston when he's in his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope that means things are
fun show.
on the
great
way
show.
back for Ziegler. Oh, yes, and for us, great show. So it was happy to be back, and you don't want to miss us April 1st because we're going to kick ass here at Governor's. Oh, I cursed. No cursing today. Oh, yeah, it's President's Day. So, all right, so the kids are home. Maybe you're watching with the kids. So, yeah, no cursing. We're going to be clean for the kids today. And we're going to discuss President's Day with the kids. It's history lesson today.
Really?
Yes, it's
Okay.
President's Day. That's why everybody's off.
I should have studied up.
Well, I'll help you.
Okay.
Why do we call it President's Day?
Because we're honoring the presidents of the United States. Do we have to be specific about which president?
All right, well, it's interesting you say that because that's exactly where I was going with this. Remember when we were kids, we used to be off we would have one day off in the second week of February for Lincoln's birthday. And then
George Washington.
and then a
So
week
it's
or
Lincoln
two
and
later,
George
we'd have one day
Washington.
for George Washington.
And they plop them together?
So they put them together, and they also added this winter break which we didn't have when we were kids, by the way. So you kids consider yourselves lucky. We didn't have a winter break.
Yeah, but we were off for a really long time over Christmas.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, we had like 2 weeks.
No, we didn't. We had it just like it is now. We had in between Christmas and New Year's, and we went back right after New Year's.
I thought we had 2 weeks for...
No.
Because I remember thinking, oh, good, they just separated it. That's nice.
No, we had the week between Christmas and New Year's off. We go back right after Christmas, right after New Year's, and then we didn't have another break until Easter.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, that sucks.
So you kids be happy and stop complaining. Stop giving mommy and daddy a hard time, or I'll wrap you across the face.
Wow. It's violent.
But yeah, so it used to be 1 day off for Lincoln, 1 day off for Washington. Now they grouped it together, and it's President's Day.
Okay.
But they call it President's Day. They don't call it Washington Lincoln Birthday Day.
Yeah, sounds like a highway or something.
So my guess is that we're supposed to be honoring all presidents, but I have some facts here about Washington and Lincoln, since it's their birthdays this month.
Okay. Oh, let me guess.
Okay.
Well, I think Washington was a Taurus, but I don't know what Lincoln was. He's kind of depressive. I bet he was a Pisces.
We just finished saying that their birthdays are in February.
Oh, did you? They're both in February?
That's why we used to have those days
February
off.
what?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
But Lincoln's birthday's in February. We always had it off on his birthday. George Washington's birthday, we always had off. But they now just mixed it together for 1 day in February and then gave us a week.
Are those two considered that's it? They're the greatest presidents? Like FDR did a heck of a lot. I wouldn't have wanted his job all those millions of years he was president.
So there should be a JFK Day, you're saying?
FDR.
Oh, FDR. I thought you said Kennedy.
No.
You said Roosevelt? John, you said John F. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you said?
Yeah, I think he did a lot.
Did
he got us through the war. Yeah, I think he did I think he did a lot.
Washington, made us a country.
Yeah. No, I'm not taking away from the two that are honored.
Oh. Abe Lincoln was the first president to be photographed at his inauguration. And guess who could be seen in the background very close to Lincoln?
Who?
John Wilkes Booth.
Oh, no way. Yeah, you're like a nerd about Lincoln. You know a lot of stuff about him.
I loved American history when I was in school. I hated nothing against Europe, but I don't know. I found Roman times and Napoleon, all that. I just found that stuff to be boring. I liked American history. What happened in our country?
Yeah, me too.
What did our forefathers do? I don't know. But Abe Lincoln, yeah, I took a specific interest in him.
Did you like Lincoln Logs just because you're I bet you he built these?
Yeah, he invented it.
Yeah.
So, and I used to make the Lincoln Logs in the shape of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a big interest in Lincoln. I read a lot of books on him when I was a kid, and Ford's Theater. Well, the first time I ever went to Washington, D.C. and saw Ford's Theater, that was I was just enamored. And back then, I don't think they do it anymore, but back then, well, first off, they had a Frederick Douglass impersonator there, and he gave a speech.
Nice.
There were kids my age. My mother still talks about this. There were kids my age running around, goofing off. I sat there and listened to every word this guy was saying. He looked just like the real thing, and it was amazing. But then, I don't think they do this anymore. They take you. They took us across the street when Lincoln was shot. They took him across the street to work on him, to try to save him in this little hotel room.
There was a hole in the back of his head, right?
Yes.
Oh.
And they used to take you to this hotel room where the pillow that he rested his head on was there in a glass case.
Oh.
And you can see the blood stain.
Wow.
I mean, half the pillow was covered in blood. And that blew me away too. Well,
yeah.
I didn't mean to say blew me away.
Yeah.
But that just really, I thought that was fantastic. So big Lincoln guy. So yeah, he was the first president to be photographed at his inauguration with John Wilkes Booth in the background. Now, John Wilkes Booth was in the background because John Wilkes Booth was a famous actor. That's how he got into the theater.
Oh, they were used to him being there.
Right. So that's how he got in. But now, that's not the only coincidental thing with Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth. Which, actually, I just read this morning, and I didn't know this. A few months before John Wilkes Booth assassinated Lincoln, Abe Lincoln's oldest son, Robert Todd Lincoln, stood on a train platform in Jersey City, New Jersey, where a throng of passengers began to press the young man backwards, and he fell into an open space between the platform and a moving train. Suddenly, a hand reached out and pulled the president's son to safety by the coat collar. The man that did that was Edwin Booth, John Wilkes Booth's brother.
Oh, wow.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
One more coincidence between Booth and Lincoln. The day of Edwin Booth's funeral, June 9th, 1893, Ford's Theater collapsed, killing 22 people. Ford's Theater is where Lincoln was shot.
Yeah.
Which I never heard that either. I didn't know Ford's Theater collapsed.
Did the guy ever say, like, why did he, what happened to the guy who shot Lincoln?
John Wilkes Booth?
Yeah. Did they shoot him right away, or did they get
No,
any, like, what up, man? Like, what was the point of that?
It was political. He was upset about the slaves.
He had a bunch of slaves and was, like, mad about it.
He
I thought he was an actor. He was an actor. He was an actor who...
He was a well-known actor. And
who had slaves?
Yeah, and he disagreed with Lincoln freeing the slaves, so he shot him. And no, they didn't shoot him. He got away originally. And you remember, I think in the 70s and 80s, there was a news anchor on NBC, Roger Mudd.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. His family, one of his ancestors was the doctor, because Booth shot Lincoln and then he jumped out of, because it was on the second floor. He then jumped out of a building, out of the Ford's Theater, out of a window to get away, and he broke his leg, but he still got away. Dr. Mudd was the guy that fixed him up. So this guy, Roger Mudd, actually caught some flack, and I'm sure this guy was like, what the hell? I wasn't even born. This is like my great-great-great-grandfather. I didn't know the guy. Don't blame me. But, yeah, so he got away for a while. They eventually did capture him. I don't know if they killed him or if he did jail time or both. I don't even remember. So there's some facts about Abe Lincoln. Now, George Washington, did you know George Washington only went elementary school? That's the furthest he went with school. He didn't have a middle school or a high school or a high school diploma.
Weird, because a lot of those guys were lawyers, you know. A lot of them went to school for a long time.
Yeah, but I think that was later, wasn't it? I don't know if that was started right at the beginning. Washington ruined his teeth using them to crack walnut shells. The dentures he had were made out of a lot of things, but not wood. Lots of people talk about that all the time, how George Washington had wooden teeth. Not true. He did not have. He never had wooden teeth. Instead, they came largely from human teeth, pulled from the mouths of the poor and his enslaved workers. How do you like that?
Not even like dead guys?
Not dead guys.
Took like his slaves' teeth.
And poor people.
God.
See, there's a reason to work hard and make money. You don't want to get your teeth pulled.
You don't want people taking your molars and sticking them in their mouths. So study up, kids. Don't take this day off. This is the week that you could catch up.
That's right. Catch up on your homework this week.
So that
study
you are not the people that have their teeth taken out.
You want to keep you get an extra vacation and you get to keep your teeth.
Yeah, what are
you kids got it made
about? They complain endlessly, and no one takes their teeth.
Oh, they also came from ivory cow teeth and lead.
What?
That's what it says. And he had a little spring inside the dentures that helped them open and close. I swear to you, this is true. The fake teeth caused him great discomfort and were one of the reasons why he rarely smiled.
Yeah. I would just eat oatmeal and call it a day.
He had to have his morning hoe cakes.
What? What's that? What?
The kids are home.
Hogue?
Hoe.
Hoe cakes.
Hoe cakes.
What is that?
You never had a hoe cake?
No.
And syrup to cut into tiny pieces to make it easier to eat. Goodness.
They didn't have blenders back then.
That's right. George Washington, another fact, he never had any children, but he loved children and was very good with them. And he would pull teeth out of his slaves, but according to this, he still had contradictory feelings towards slavery. Oops.
Not enough to stop ripping their teeth out for his own comfort.
He owned enslaved people who worked on his land. He received the first enslaved people of his own when his father died. Oh, in 1743. He was just 11 years old when his father died, and he was given 10 slaves at that point. So when he was 10 years old, when he was 11 years old, he got 10 slaves. By the time he got married, he had purchased at least 8 more. But then over the years, Washington's thinking on slavery evolved. During the Revolutionary War, he became more uncomfortable with the thought of purchasing and owning other human beings. While he supported the abolition in theory, he never tried it in practice. His plantation, his wealth, and his position in society depended on enslaved people to work as laborers. When one of Martha Washington's enslaved people fled to freedom in 1796, Washington spent the last 3 years of his life trying to force her return. But when it came time to make his will, it contained an order to free his slaves with the stipulation that they remain with Martha over the rest of her life. A tall and robust man, Washington survived many life-threatening situations. At various points, Washington had diphtheria, tuberculosis, smallpox, malaria, carbuncle, and pneumonia. What's carbuncle?
I don't know.
Oh. He also had dysentery and quinsy. I don't know what those are either.
That's diarrhea.
Oh, which one? Both? Quincy? Dysentery? Dysentery.
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 I think.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, that's what you say. That's how you pronounce it, but I think that I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I think it is.
He also survived near drowning in an ice-clogged river. He survived the burning and massacre of Fort Necessity. He survived 2 horses being shot out from under him, and 4 bullets passing close enough to pierce his clothing, all in one battle. Ironically, it was just a common cold that killed him. Can
Seriously?
you imagine? Yeah.
How old was he?
I don't know.
Oh.
It was an infection in the back of the throat that would be curable with antibiotics today. While he lay dying, his doctors effectively tortured him, burning him to remove the sickness and draining him of a full 40% of his blood. Washington was...
Bloodletting.
What?
Bloodletting.
He was fearful of being buried alive, as he was convinced others in history had been. He directed that his body not be buried for 3 days after his death, just in case.
He had a lot of rules.
Yeah, apparently. Wow. I didn't like that.
What a life.
What a life.
And in the meantime, was president.
So there you go. Those are some interesting facts about the presidents that we're celebrating.
Yeah, that was good. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Let's read some comments here. My son yells at me for cursing, says Kirsten. As he should. I had fun Friday night, and good morning, everyone, says DJ. It's president, so people get great deals at car dealerships. Yeah, that is a little... See, there should be a law against that. That former presidents who are important in our history shouldn't be made to be like cartoon characters to sell a car. I think it's disrespectful.
I like Charles Goonan. Lincoln was killed because he took John Wilkes Booth. I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm actually mad that made me laugh.
Kirsten says in her day she had a winter break, and she's not that much younger than us. We didn't. I'm telling you, we didn't have it.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think you realize how old we are.
Yeah, right. Washington's real birthday is February 22nd. Lincoln was February 12th. Thank you, Liz. I'm not a Whitney Union guy, so I'm working.
A what?
Oh, whiny. Sorry. I'm not a whiny
Bosey?
union. Yeah, Bosey. I'm not a whiny union guy, so I'm working.
Sorry,
well,
Bose.
maybe if you were a whiny union guy, you wouldn't be working.
Yeah, I have a union story later on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, in Rome, Roman candles are called just candles, says Charles Goonan. Check out Tune In to Goonan and Charles Goonan's podcast. He just released another one. I am mad at Tony for not looking at my pictures on Instagram. I'm cool with that. Tired working in Mom's house all weekend, says Beansy. Beansy's version of work, though, is usually just sitting and pointing. Lincoln drove a Lincoln Continental, but he called it a me Continental. I think Abe Lincoln and the guy sitting in front of Pee Wee Herman both have something in common. They both got shot in the back of the head in a theater. Goodness. What color was Washington's white horse? White? Charles Grennan used to dance under the name Hoe Cakes. It took forever for George Washington to cross the Delaware because he couldn't get across the Washington Bridge. Although I bet the kids watching today like that one.
No.
We're going to do the same thing with Steve. We're going to wait 3 days, says Bosie. Steve? Steve who?
Prello?
Oh, I don't get it.
That, once he dies, they're going to wait 3 days.
Oh. Beansy says they found scratch marks in Lincoln's coffin. Why?
Because he was still alive.
Oh. There were actually some people that were arrested about 10 years later. They were caught in the act. They were digging. They were going to steal Lincoln's corpse. Why they were going to steal it, I don't know. But what you want to tell us your union story?
Oh yeah, I was reading. So Apple
as in Mac.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess there's been a few stores that have been trying to unionize.
A few Apple stores.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. It's and they the workers say that they're paid fairly if you just look at the hours that they work and the things that they have to know, as far as but they also say that Apple makes 33% more every year, and so all that money, it just isn't being shared amongst the company. It's just so, and there are a few things that they want to change too, like they don't think they have enough time off and personal time, and but so the reason why I'm bringing it up is because the people that are trying to organize the union, they all bought Androids, so that no one, so that the Apple, because if you use your own cell phone, they're afraid that Apple's going to see all the texts and stuff. So there's a whole pile of people in Apple that bought Androids so that they could all communicate with each other. I just thought it was interesting. Smart thinking. Yeah. And Apple did say that they're gonna try to like give them more time off and maybe raise that they probably do deserve to make a little bit more, for all the things that they have to know. Because I mean, you have a friend who works for Apple and he has to know a whole bunch.
There's, yeah, you're right, he does, and there's a lot of training involved. And he does work hard. I mean,
he does work hard. Like if you say to him, "Oh, do you want to do something tomorrow?" He's like, "No, I'm working that day." Like he never.
We you and I have both worked in retail. You a lot more than me, but I'll tell you, just from the limited experience I have at it, it's not easy. It's not easy, and I personally believe it's even harder at a place like Apple because when they put out their new phones and their new this and new that, that place gets mobbed, man. Mm-hmm. It's insane. And you have to deal with all different types of people, and there's a lot to know, a lot to do.
Everyone has a cell phone.
They work very hard, and they are knowledgeable. So there's a lot of training involved.
And we are just a bunch of morons. You have to just admit, there's not not a lot of people go into that store that have the same kind of knowledge that they have.
Absolutely right. So yeah, I do feel they deserve more because they work hard. However, yeah, based on my close friend who works there, based on watching him and talking to him, it does seem like they treat their employees decent. Mm-hmm. He does get some time off. He gets pretty good discounts on stuff. They throw their employees, some stuff once in a while. Of course, they deserve more. But at least that's a start too. At least Apple's saying, okay, yeah, they deserve more. We hear you. That right there
says a lot.
That says a lot. That's
Stop
huge.
buying Androids, employees.
Well, no, do that until you get what you got. yeah. To
I just thought
get
it was
what you want.
funny.
And I've done that too.
You bought an Android?
Well, no, when I was, where I spent most of my career, we, would, buy things from the competition if we felt the need. And we still, to this day, do a lot of picketing at, their wireless stores because that section is not unionized.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
And they've tried. There's a lot of union busting going on over there. So, yeah, so all the power to you. Go get them, Apple brothers and sisters.
Stand strong.
Right. So, yes, Bosie was talking about Perillo.
Yeah. Well, now that they work together, he calls him by his first name more, I bet.
Beansy says Apple sucks the big one. Android rocks. Okay. I'm an Apple guy. I think it's great. So good luck to them at Apple, regardless of what Beansy says. Sometimes we'll talk about something in here, and then all of a sudden, there's a cool update where we would swear they heard us. Actually, didn't that just happen to us a few weeks ago? I don't remember with what. Do you remember?
I don't, yeah.
We were talking about something, and all of a sudden it made news again. Well, one thing we were talking about just last week, if I'm not mistaken, was plastic surgery, and I mentioned Courtney Cox.
Oh, yeah. I was reading that last night. Yeah.
Well,
I was actually thinking that,
Right. I said, I use her as a perfect example. There's a beautiful woman who had, just had surgery 1 or 3 too many times.
yeah.
And she's definitely not the worst I've seen with surgery. But, yes, she has gone too far. And didn't need it, in my opinion. I mean, she's...
Yeah, your face gets old. That's
Your
what
face
happens.
gets old.
Your face gets old.
And in my opinion, when she first started getting surgery, she still looked really good. Was she showing signs of aging like the rest of us do? Absolutely. As we're sitting here both wearing glasses and one of us has a beard that's almost as white as Santa. It happens. So, sure enough, Courtney Cox was doing an interview. And she said she has to let go. One of the things she's letting go of is certain cosmetic procedures that has left her looking, in her words, fake.
She heard you, baby.
She has learned to embrace her real face, and now she's more at peace with aging. There was a time, she says, when you go, oh, I'm changing, I'm looking older, and I tried to chase that youthfulness for years. And I didn't realize, oh, poopy, I'm actually looking really strange with injections and doing stuff to my face that I would never do now. She realized people were talking about her, and that led to a period where she realized, I've got to stop. This is crazy. So she's admitting that she looked fake. I think she even said she looked stupid at one point.
Well, that's good.
I wish there was a way they could reverse it.
Oh, it just doesn't continue to get older and yeah, I mean, some people you can't come back from.
Right, well, and I think she's one of them.
Yeah, too bad.
I mean, where does all that Botox go? I mean, it stays there.
Well, you
right?
have to keep doing Botox, right? It's just all it is it's just a steroid that they shove in your face that, kind of blows up a little bit, so it stops the wrinkles. But she didn't.
But in time, let's say, 10 years from now, where does the Botox go?
I don't know. Your body just takes it away. Like if you have an infection in your face, and your body just takes it all away.
So you're saying
it's not a hard substance.
So Joan Rivers.
No, she did more than Botox. She did. They pulled skin and stitched it. That's different.
I think but right, and there's no coming back from that.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, that's right. I think Courtney Cox. Again, she doesn't look as bad as I've seen others, but she's like borderline looking ridiculous. And but I don't know if you outgrow that once you stop. I don't know I don't know what happens. Adam Snare says, "What up?" Hello there, Adam,
Hey, Adam.
Snare. Fremder says he busted his union this morning. Goonin, Courtney Peepees, I don't curse. She just let her face get old. If it's a little wrinkly, I'll just focus on the other quadrants that are still very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there wasn't any part of her that needed surgery. I think she looked really good. So one thing we want to talk about, speaking of looking good, we have that picture, right? We are going to talk about a story that you actually brought to my attention last week. Let's see. So, a model with Down syndrome is thanking Victoria's Secret for including her in a new lingerie collection. Puerto Rican fashion model Sofia Zaru, Jirau. Hirau.
Please move on.
Revealed she's made history as the lingerie brand's first model with Down syndrome in an Instagram post she shared on Valentine's Day. Victoria's Secret announced it was launching a Love Cloud collection. Sophia got her start as a model in 2019 and made her New York Fashion Week debut in February 2020. She has since modeled for companies and magazines including Walgreens, Vogue, People, and Avalet. I don't know what Avalet is. Sophia's cell phone, clothing, and home decor brand. She models alongside 17 other women in Victoria's Secret's Love Cloud collection campaign, which was personally put together to highlight diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, what?
I saw on the screen there that the picture was up between us, so I actually went like this to look at it. Wow. So there it is. Sofia Jirau. She's a model with Down syndrome. How old is she? Did I say? It doesn't say, I don't think. Okay. But I don't know. What do we think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's something that's important to her and she wants to do it, yay, I'll applaud you, and that's great.
I mean, I guess if she wants to be a model, and I hope she just. We don't know the level of her, like with her IQ and her cognitive level. We'd like to think she's able to make these types of decisions. We'd like to think nobody's taking advantage of this.
Because Down syndrome is kind of like, it's all over the board the way autism is. Like, there are some people that are just really, really very high functioning. And then there are people like I had a friend with a daughter with Down syndrome, and they actually had to put locks on all the refrigerators and stuff because she didn't understand that she was ever full. She was just hungry all the time, and
right.
she would go into the garage and eat paint. It was like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was a really big problem. So I'm talking about like different levels and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you just look at it from the point of view of, wow, she's a model and she's showing us the new bathing suit line or something, then you just look at it like that. But people usually look at models as, oh, I'm looking at them sexually. Is it weird to look at someone sexually who has Down syndrome? So I think that's where your struggle.
Well, it's not bathing suit; it's lingerie.
Oh, I thought that was a bathing suit.
Victoria's Secret's is lingerie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's, yeah, well, oh.
All right, we're still good though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I don't know. It's, again, you just hope that that somebody's making sure she's doing the right thing, and you like to hope that she's, again, smart enough to know what she's doing and not being taken advantage of. I don't know. It's weird. I think a lot of, whether it's good or bad, I think society has that. They see somebody with Down syndrome and they have that mindset. They now have to talk to them like, okay, we're going to sit in here now. We're going to go on this show here at the studio. You know what I mean?
I see people do that with Sammy all the time, and I don't understand why. Like, I've just always like talked to Sammy like she was just one of the kids, you know. But I've seen like other people be like they'll talk slower, like she's, you know. And I'm like, you could just talk to her.
Yeah, and I do, and I like to think I do that with Sammy, but at the same time, there's like her sense of humor is, I wouldn't say age appropriate. It's a little younger than she is, you know.
Sure, so is yours, you know.
Well, that's true. Charles Coonan, I'm not reading your comments. Sorry. Beansy said she's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm back and forth because a part of, like I said, society we act a certain way with them, whether that's right or wrong. It just is. So even looking at it, I almost feel like I'm looking at it with the same mindset I would have if she was underage. Like I'm being cautious about it.
Yeah, because you're a protective dad, and I think, which is great. You know, there's a lot of people that find, you know, very young women, you know, attractive, and you're not like that. You're like, oh my God, she's someone's daughter. You know, you've always been really good that way. So but you see this as like, oh my God, how do I protect her and put a jacket on her?
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I hope if she's like doing this for a living, hopefully she's got like a good mom and dad that know what they're doing. And if it's important to her, you know, that's great for her. She's gorgeous.
Sense of humor wise, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Tony. So I do feel it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
And as I said, this campaign was purposely put together to highlight diversity and inclusion. So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the picture. There's a pregnant woman. You know,
Oh,
there's
is
like,
there?
Yeah, there's
the article I read didn't say what else was there. So you saw a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't remember what else.
Oh, what did you see? Like, was it on their website or something?
It was an article from CNN. So I was just like, I just quickly looked at the picture and then I read the article and then I was like, and it was actually, I saw it last week and I wasn't coming in on Friday. So I was just helping Tony out with like, here, you might want to look at this. It'd be fun for you. And I was like, it'd be fun for you to talk about because you have such, you know, not only do you have, you know, Sammy with autism, but the whole.
I love lingerie.
You help out like quite a bit with.
Lingerie.
With lingerie.
With what?
With like the PAL and I mean you have to see Tony when he like walks into like the the basketball games of kids with special needs. They're like Tony. They just like adore you. You spend a lot of time with them and you're really good with them.
I say hi to them, but it's not.
Oh come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Tell me more about you checking out women in lingerie.
I never said that.
You did?
No.
You saw these pictures.
I said I saw the article.
Speaking of autism.
Yeah.
We started watching this show because that other show we saw sucked.
Is
As We See It.
Is Carol watching?
No, I haven't seen her name.
Oh.
Well, why was it Carol who told us to watch it?
Yeah, she was the one that said you should try this show.
Why did I think it was Liz?
I forgot that I watched it. No, I think it was Carol Miner. Maybe Liz did too, and I just didn't notice. Sorry, Liz.
Yeah, so we were watching, and we talked about it on here. We were watching As We See It, and I hated it. Sallie loved it, so she watched it, but bleh.
I didn't love it. I just thought it was good. I liked it.
So whoever it was, maybe it was both of them, maybe it was a bunch of you, who knows, but told us to check out Atypical. So we started watching that. I like it.
Are we into season 2 yet?
We watched the first season, the first episode of season 2, and that's the last show we watched so far.
Okay.
I like it. I definitely like it better than As We See It. The boy that plays the autistic kid is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Who's the mother and father?
The mother is Jennifer Jason Leigh, who is also fantastic. I've always been a fan of hers. And the father is Michael Rappaport, who I like a lot.
He's great.
But in my opinion, and I'm not knocking him, but he's in everything he's done, he's like Samuel L. Everything they do, they do the same.
So what?
It works.
It never bores me.
Absolutely. He's great. However, in this show, he's not entirely that character that he's known. There's some of it there, but not completely.
When he was a teacher in, did you watch him in, what show was he on? He played a teacher in like a really crappy school environment in Boston.
I'm not familiar with
and
this.
It was that same sweet, tender.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. So this is the first.
Look it up.
This is the first show I've seen him act a little different, and I like it. And I like when you see, the age, the range that an actor can do. So it's a good cast. The girl who plays the daughter is really good.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
So it's good, and you could definitely learn. I like how you're really kind of learning what is going on in the world from the autistic boy's perspective. Mm-hmm. And you're learning how he's seeing things, how he's reacting to things. But the show is a little soap opera-ish, a little predictable at times.
It's getting a little soap opera for you.
You
don't like that at all.
You've seen the first 2 seasons?
I saw I didn't see the last.
There's 4 seasons, you said?
Yeah, I didn't see the last show on the first season. I missed the last one, and then I stopped watching it. I just saw the first season.
Oh, that's all you watched? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I started watching it with Tony, and then we said something to Sammy about it. We're like, hey, what do you think about this kind of show? Because she likes certain shows, and, sometimes she's not willing to watch something that we recommend, which is totally fine. No, none of the other kids give a crap about what we say. So she could do that too. But this particular time, she's like, yeah, I actually heard about it. I'll try it. So we started again, and we just watched it with her from like the beginning, and she loved it.
Yeah, she loves it.
She loves it. So like half the time I'm watching the show, but half the time I'm looking at like the chair that she sits in. She's just so happy watching this show that I'm just like watching her face, watching the show. It just makes me happy.
Yeah, she's really zoomed in on it.
Yeah.
And focused, which is cool.
Look, I think everyone's listening to us because on my phone on Google, the first thing that pops up is Courtney Cox again. Isn't that funny?
Goonan wants to know whatever happened to Corky from Life Goes On. I don't know. It's interesting you say that.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh.
But one of the people I was going to ask, Life Goes On, the father was Bill Smitrovich.
Oh, he was great.
He's great in everything. He's still around. He's very active as a character actor. He's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I was this close to getting him on the show.
Yeah.
On this show.
How did you not get him on the show? Because I thought
I'm going to bug him again. We're Facebook friends, and we got to talking. We've had a little bit of we've chatted a little bit here off and on. Uh-huh. So I finally hit it with him one day. This is probably a year or two ago, and I said, why don't you do the show with us, and we'll talk about your career, talk about different things. We'll zoom in, and he said, yeah, okay, sounds good. I'll do it. I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
And then I threw a few dates his way, and he never got back to me.
Really?
But just last week, we were talking a little bit just last week. So I'm gonna hit him with it again, and I'm gonna ask him, hey, where's Corky? Where is he? What happened? That show took place on Long Island.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it was filmed here, but it was supposed to be here.
It was based on Long Island?
Yeah. But, so I'll try to get Bill Smitrovich.
You just like saying that word.
I do like saying that word. And I have to say, he's a great actor. I've always liked his work. And speaking of teachers, you mentioned Rappaport played a teacher. All you guys are off this week. So all you Will Sharons and Tom Egans and Greg Josephs, come on in this week and hang out with us on the show here.
Yeah.
If somebody reach out to Will Sharon right now and Tom Egan and Greg Joseph and tell them that they were mentioned by name. And tell them say, I would love to see you on Knockem Dead this week.
All right, so the name of the show is Boston Public.
Boston Public.
You never saw it?
Never.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Who else was in it? He starred in it?
Yeah. Yeah, he played a teacher.
I'm not familiar with his TV work. I've seen a lot of his movies, like Beautiful Girls and Copland and all that. And it was probably filmed in Hicksville, says Jeff Bosey.
He's the one who brought it up. We weren't going to say Hicksville.
Oh, I was totally going to say it, but I haven't seen Plagianos. I haven't seen his name, so I don't know if he's watching yet. But thank you, Jeff, for throwing in the Hicksville reference for us. Jeff, if you're free Saturday, get in here with us Saturday night. That sounded really bad. Get in here with us on Saturday night.
Loretta Devine.
I don't know who that is. Sounds like a
Here, look at the cast.
It sounds like a drag queen. Oh, Anthony Held, who was the warden in Silence of the Lambs, who was from Massapequa. Fivush Finkel. That's a name for you. Chi McBride. Yeah, he looks familiar to me. Sharon Leal, who is hot as, but I don't know who she is. Oh, Jerry Ryan. Yeah, I've seen her. Michael Rappaport. Nikki Cat was in it. Don't know who that is. Jesselyn Gilsig. I don't know who she is. Rashida Jones. Oh, I like her. China Shavers. It's a weird name. Kathy Baker. She's good. John Abrahams. Nope. Joey McIntyre. From New Kids.
He was probably one of the kids in the high school.
Joey Slotnick. He's funny. Natalia Barron. Wow, she's pretty, but I don't know who she is. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this show was on a long time ago.
Yeah, a really long time ago. I couldn't even remember the name of it.
It's like 20 years ago.
Yep.
No, I'm not familiar with this show at all. Another story I saw the other day. A woman in Nevada. She was she left her Reno home, and then was reportedly. Then she went missing. So this woman in Reno, Nevada. She left her home, and she didn't come back. So the family put together a search team. There were about 30 people that got together and said, "Okay, let's all split up and go searching for this woman." So one of the son's friends was walking around. He was walking on the outskirts of town in rugged terrain. He just decided to head off a cliff, maybe thinking she fell down. Just God forbid she fell off this cliff. So he was looking. All of a sudden, he hears this little help, but it was barely audible. But he just happened to catch it, and he looks over, and there she is hanging. She's dangling from a branch.
Wow.
A rescue team of 30 people used a rope to haul her to safety around 10 p.m., nearly 12 hours after she was discovered in the tree's branches.
So how long was she? She must have been sitting in a tree. She couldn't have been hanging. No one could hang on that long.
That apparently they're saying that's why she was so weak and can barely say help, because she was dangling for several hours. And why it took 12 hours from when they found her to when they saved her, that doesn't really make sense to me either.
Do you think it's possible someone can hold onto a rope for over 12 hours?
She wasn't holding onto a rope. She was holding onto the branch for 12 hours.
Still.
I would think a branch would break.
I would think her hands would cramp and give up after 10 minutes.
They're not.
Maybe her feet were touching something?
They're saying that she was dangling.
Wow.
And at the time that I saw this, which was last Thursday or Friday, didn't say they didn't know at that time how she ended up there. They don't know, and it didn't say why it took so long to get her out.
Why was she in a tree?
But nothing. She was none of her injuries are non-life threatening, and she's expected to make a full recovery. Gail Stewart, 64 years old, dangling 300 to 400 feet off the ground.
This just sounds suspicious about something.
I don't know. That's what it says.
I know.
I don't know. Well, maybe I'll do some follow-up.
Do you hear about the poor lady in Pennsylvania who she's an Uber driver. She's 38 years old, 4 kids. She picks up some guy who's 22, and he immediately puts a gun to the back of her head, and she's like, please don't. I have 4 kids, and he's like, yeah, I have family too. Keep driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he shot her, and he actually used his girlfriend's cell phone to call the Uber in the first place, and they got him because like there was one of those cams inside the car that caught like the whole conversation.
What does it matter whose phone he used? I missed your
just
point.
Because like if you're an Uber driver and someone's going to pick you up, like this guy had a record and stuff already.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone goes to pick me up, like, I'll other Uber drivers will rate me like, oh, nice lady, showed up, gave me a $1 tip, So I guess maybe he knows that his Uber account doesn't work anymore.
Oh, you're saying if his name came up, there would have been some kind of red flag.
Yeah, probably.
So, and why did he kill her? Did he rob her and then killed her?
The police think it had nothing to do, no connection whatsoever. They think it was just straight robbery. They found a delivery guy found her body in one location. They found the car that he stole from her near where they found him.
Wow. How old is this lady?
38.
Oh, she had 4 kids?
Yep.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing when you think about it. I mean, I guess you could say that about taxis too. You're getting into this car with a stranger. You don't know what can happen.
Yeah, you're told your whole life, don't hitchhike and don't get into a car that,
Did you ever do that? Did you ever hitchhike?
No.
Did you ever pick up a hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Did you?
Well, yeah, like if you see someone on the side of the road that, that car broke down or something like that.
Oh, that's not a hitchhiker.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. But like, I wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker just because my daddy told me.
All right, wait a minute. Have you or haven't you?
I've helped people on the side of the road that had I did answer you, who had a car broken down, but I wouldn't pick up hitchhikers that were just walking along the road.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was asking though.
Yeah.
If you've ever picked one of those up.
No, because there's the parents in the back of your head that are saying never. And my dad just simply said to me, he's like, you know what? Don't pick up hitchhikers. Just don't. He goes, someone else if I was hitchhiking, I wouldn't expect a woman to pull over to the side of the road to help me. I would expect a guy to, help me, or if I had a guy in a truck or something, but I wouldn't expect. He goes, so don't feel like you're hurting their feelings. And I was like, okay.
So basically you're telling us your father was sexist.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, absolutely. He was completely sexist. But however, on the other side, because he had only daughters, so he didn't want them ever to have problems. Like I grew up knowing how to change tires and stuff because he didn't ever want it. Now you can't even change them. Now, like.
Oh yeah, because they use the drill. Like you can't. Yeah,
like,
I know. I feel like a jerk.
I know. I do too.
Because I'll change the tire, but you can't.
It's so difficult. Like I remember the first time I went to like go change the oil in my car, and I was like, I can't even figure this engine out anymore. Like forget it. I'm just gonna get my tires changed and oil changed. Sorry, Dad, but.
Getting back to this lady dangling, Andrew Fremder says the story about the dangling lady definitely ends in a cliffhanger. But now, actually, Brendan Burt brings up an excellent point, and I should have known this. Hands can actually cramp and then lock up. So she could hang on for all that time. And I should have known that because we dealt with that when I was a lineman. If there are times that your leg cramps and then locks up, if you're up there with if you use the spikes, or they're called gaffs, to dig into the pole and go up. We were trained on how to deal with that, because that could be a fairly common thing.
Okay. Yeah, well, great for her. It just seems really strange that this woman was hanging off a cliff without any reason to why she was there, and it was the outskirts of town. It was very strange. There's more to this story.
Charles Goonan, I knew a roller skater who frequently picked up hitchhikers until one day she got hernia. I don't get it. You get it? That's the problem with us hosting a show. We're not very smart. And then you get clever comics like Charles Goonan that just say stuff over our heads.
She got a hernia because she was picking them up because she was on roller skates. She was carrying the people on the side of the road instead of just letting them get in the car.
But a person, it would be heavy to carry a person even without the roller skates. So I don't know why. I don't know what being a roller skater.
Because that was her form of transportation. Roller skates.
Fremder used to Uber. I got to tell you, I have some stories that you wouldn't believe.
I don't know what to do, and he's just being normal. It's very uncomfortable.
Well, nobody wrote LOL after that.
Yeah, just meaning that there are a lot of stories that he has.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You remember The Who?
Who?
Right. Back in 1979, they were doing a concert in Cincinnati, and they the venue didn't open enough gates, and it was general admission. So people were really trying to get in quickly so they can get a good spot, and 11 people died because they got trampled on. Well, did you know that The Who have never played Cincinnati since?
Oh, really?
And that was in 1979. This year, The Who are on tour, and they're going to go back to Cincinnati.
Were they mad about it, and that's why?
No, they were... I don't know why they've never been back.
Okay.
I do think it's a little funny. They say something... Where's the quote I have? We're now playing in an even larger venue, which obviously will raise more revenue. Oh, all right, hang on. The band said deciding to play in Cincinnati again will be such a joyous occasion for us and such a healing thing. I don't know, to me, that kind of makes me laugh a little bit. A healing thing for who? For you, the band? Nothing happened to you.
The Who?
Right. Nothing happened to you, Who? And it's over 40 years later. What exactly?
It was probably emotional to them. They played... They're on stage. They're playing their instruments. They're singing the songs they wrote.
All right,
Everything's
but if
a good
that
day.
was,
and then 11 people die.
If my son is one of the 11, I'd be like, all right, I think you're a little late, Who? I think where the hell you been? Where's my private Who concert for my family? Or
to help you get over it.
All right, but one thing they've done, which it's over 4 decades later.
It took them this long to deal with it.
They originally were coming back in 2020, but of course we were told to stay home. Long haunted by the tragedy, The Who has for years supported a memorial scholarship effort in a Cincinnati suburb where 3 of the victims went to school. We're now playing in an even larger venue, which will obviously raise more revenue for the scholarship, said Roger Daltrey, lead singer of The Who. I'm very excited about the fact that we leave behind a legacy for Cincinnati.
A legacy?
A legacy where 11 people died, Roger?
Death. That's not a legacy. Yeah, Sam went to a concert just a few days ago, and he was general admission too. So I was like, "Don't get squished." And so I was telling him about that, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What? Why?" And I don't know how this works, because when you're on stage, do you not see any of the people in front of you?
Well, right, but that's the thing. It didn't happen at the stage.
Mm-hmm.
It happened at the gates.
Oh,
from the outside to let people into the arena, and they didn't. And there were so many people because it was general admission, so a lot of people got there early, and a lot of people want to rush and get a good spot close to the stage. When they only opened, I think, 1 or 2 gates out of a whole bunch, so they were all trying to rush and cram, and all these people died.
Like a pack of people like that. It's crazy how fast it happens. And I was talking about like being squished up at the stage and stuff. Like, because Sam was saying he's like if the band can. If they're told at the time, like maybe if they can't even see them, but if some manager can like go up and, whisper to the singer, hey, this is what's going on. If they stop the music and they turn on the lights and they just say, everyone push back, would that help? Or it's just so out of control?
Well, in the Who's case, again, it didn't happen by the stage, it happened at the gates.
Yeah.
The Who's crew, crew. The Who's crew didn't even know about it till like 3/4 through the concert. So they didn't tell the band themselves until after the show was over.
Yeah, then that's sticky because if I was a band member, I would be really mad that they didn't tell me. Like, I would be like, do not handle me. You tell me what's going on. So I could see them being mad about that. I can understand why they didn't tell them.
What I didn't know is that 11 people died, but then another 24 people were injured. So there's more destruction there than I originally thought. Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned the general admission. Zach went to see Billie Eilish on Friday?
Yeah.
Saturday? Friday. And it was general admission for that too, which surprised me. And that was at Madison Square Garden.
That's a lot of people.
So I was surprised to hear that they're bringing general admission back. Not that it was ever totally gone, but I know a lot of places stopped doing it after that Who thing. And then even Pearl Jam had a bad thing like that where a bunch of people died at the gate of one of their concerts.
Yeah,
I forget where that
Pearl
was, but
Jam
that's got to be like
fans-
20 years ago.
Pearl Jam fans are crazy. They're
I don't know. I don't think they're crazier than any other band, but I mean, I've seen Pearl Jam, and I didn't get caught up in any craziness. I saw them right in the height of their popularity when I saw them in '95, and they were huge at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them at Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt Island? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
But it was great. I loved it. And I had no problem with seating. And that was, that's just an open field. Yeah, that was general admission. How fortunate, says Charles, that Sallie is his interpreter. Yeah. Brendan Burt, happens to me after batting practice every time. Hand locks on the steering wheel. It's a little scary. What are you doing, 8 hours of batting practice? Wait a minute, I thought, aren't you what did he say? He works for Allstate or something. Didn't he say that? And then he also acts on
their
the side?
baseball team.
So, the Allstate office softball team.
Yeah. They take it really seriously.
He also has a 6-year-old daughter. He dropped her off at home and gone back to help a lady change a tire once. World never stopped with her in car. Oh, would never stop with her in the car.
Yeah, you can't because your kid's in the car, you know. But that was nice of you to go back.
He says the when, because I'm saying the who, the crew, you. Fremder, when I used to Uber, backseat drivers were the worst. They would never shut up. They would always ask in a scared voice, Andrew, why are we driving into the middle of the forest in the dark? I think people that know you are scared to get in the car with you as well. So, so the Who are returning to Cincinnati. I thought that was interesting. Or not. Paul McCartney's going back on tour. Now, I'm curious about that. Because Paul McCartney can't sing anymore.
Plus, he's been doing all the... I really like that one album that he has where he does all the instruments himself and stuff. That's
the McCartney 3 album?
That's going to be
a year ago?
tough to tour.
Well, he can bring other people to play the other instruments.
Yeah, I know.
You think he's a one-man band?
No, I like that stuff. Yeah, I think it's good. You think he can't sing anymore? He can't sing?
Oh, no, he can't sing anymore.
It's not just different, not just lower?
No, his throat is shot. You listen, really, you don't remember that when we were watching him on TV a few years ago and he sounded terrible. And trust me, I feel bad saying that. I feel bad for the guy, but I don't know,
He should just go on tour and talk or something.
Unless he had surgery or something, maybe that's possible. He's going to be 80 years old in June.
Yeah.
And crazy. Ringo's touring too. Ringo's going to be 82 in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
they live really healthy lives. I don't think they started out that way, but they live really healthy lives.
Oh, they didn't start out that way at all, especially Ringo. He was a life heavy of drinking and drugging.
Drinking and drugging.
Drinking and drugging. And that's how we're going to spend the rest of our day off. Drinking and drugging.
Drinking and drugging.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your President's Day. Please don't forget to hit those thumbs up, and share the shows. Share all of our shows from Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Don't forget, a week from today, we got another Q&A with Elio Pace coming up. Anybody over there in England, get ready. Elio's touring in March. He is performing. As you guys know, we've talked about it a million times. He does a Billy Joel songbook show where he... Basically, it's Elio explaining why Billy Joel is the best songwriter ever. And he does, a string of Billy Joel tunes. But this tour he's doing in March. Every once in a while he goes out and plays full albums of Billy Joel. He's already done Glass Houses. He's done Innocent Man. He's done a few. This tour in March, he is doing Street Life Serenade and 52nd Street. So you will hear My Life. You'll hear Big Shot, Zanzibar, Honesty. Lots of great Billy Joel tunes. So that's in March. So if you're in England, be sure to check it out. So Elio will be zooming in with us next Monday, 3 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock time in England. And he's just going to hang out and chat a little bit, and that'll be a lot of fun. Tonight, Steve Squared will be with us, and then Sallie and I are back here tomorrow for Tuesday Trivia.
Mm-hmm. I did mine already.
You did your trivia already?
Did it.
Really? I wonder if the people that died at the Who concert were unidentified.
Please don't make me end the show with Andy Fremder.
Steve Squared tonight at 6:30. Sallie and I back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Tuesday Trivia. Donversations returns this week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hershey and the Keegs back on tomorrow. Top Fives on Friday. Live from Governor's Green Room returns this Saturday. Lots of cool stuff happening at Gov's Comedy Club podcast this week. Keep checking us out. We appreciate it. Everybody enjoy your President's Day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.